And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So we've kind of gone quiet on the channel in the last few days, and that wasn't intentional by any means. There's some issues with regards to this channel actually that's been out of my control in the last few days, but we are back to normal now going forward with uploads, so that is of course good news. The weekend was disastrous, to say the least, from a Celtic point of view. Of course, getting the loss against Hearts, and of course Rangers winning the League Cup. A weekend to forget, to say the least. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the game because I'm a bit late to that party in a way because of what's happened with regards to the channel. But the result was very poor, of course, and we now definitely have a title race on our hands. It's going to be an interesting campaign. I mean, Rangers look pretty decent right now, pains me to say, and of course they do have 2 games in hand when we have a 5-point lead, so they can go 1 point clear of us if they do win both those games. So not ideal, of course, and of course there's the Old Firm game coming up soon as well, so that's definitely a must-win for us. I do want to discuss some transfer news, as of course we are getting closer and closer to that transfer window, and yet again with that poor result on the weekend, it's highlighted further a need for reinforcements into the team, and it's kind of shown the cracks in the team as well, the players that we currently have at the club and at our disposal. Of course, injuries have caused a problem in recent weeks as well, but we can't keep using that excuse. The quality at the club right now is just not good enough, and of course we need to desperately reinvest into the team come January, of course, to try and get those next 2 trophies that are left for us to claim. Of course, that being the Scottish Cup and the league title. But the transfer news we're going to discuss in today's video is with an exit of a current Celtic player, and that is Gustav Lagerbilk, of course, Celtic's goal hero from last week's game against Feyenoord. He could be now set to leave the club. So obviously he joined in the summer. He was one of the players that joined, and of course on Saturday he wasn't included at all in that match. So it kind of confirmed those suspicions that he may exit in January. This report does come from a Friday interview with Brendan Rodgers, a press conference with regards to his future. So I'll say what Brendan Rodgers had to say first, and we'll discuss where his future may be going forward. So Brendan Rodgers said, "Well, we shall see. Gus came in and scored the winning goal during the week, so yeah, I think that will take place in January. We will sort itself out." Of course, at the minute right now, it doesn't seem there's a long-term future for Lagerbilk at Celtic. Of course, he was brought in, as you mentioned, in the summer for just under £3 million, and he's only managed 8 appearances so far for the club. In those appearances, to be fair, he hasn't stood out as an amazing player, but he hasn't been noticeably poor, so it's kind of bizarre that they are kind of open to letting him leave in January. A red card, obviously, in the first game against Feyenoord was probably a low moment for him, but of course he did kind of redeem himself last week with the winner against Feyenoord. And of course, as well, during the Old Firm game when we won 1-0 at Ibrox, he was pretty decent in that match as well. But overall, saving pretty average, not poor, but not great. And of course, his lack of inclusion over the last few months has been a point of note, and it doesn't seem like he will be a Celtic player beyond January. So it is kind of sad to see this. I mean, the report itself doesn't state if it's a low move or if it's a permanent move. I would be massively surprised if it is a permanent move and he does leave the club permanently in January. But yeah, a low move could be expected, but that report itself doesn't state whether it's either or, to be honest with you. But it is a shame. 23 years old, I'm sure he's got a bit of potential behind him, but Brendan Rodgers obviously doesn't favour him too well. Of course, we've seen him playing Nat Phillips over him and stuff like that in recent weeks, which is obviously a strange position considering he's leaving in January as well. But our focus really needs to shift on to who we bring in January, not who's leaving the club in January, because of course things will get worse if we don't reinvest in January, because players are going on international duty with the Asian Cup as well. So we really do need to get some players in through the door, and players of quality as well. I mean, it's been pretty poor few weeks for the club, both domestically and in Europe, and looks like Rangers are getting better and better as well under Clement, which is annoying to say, but that is the hard truth right now. So there's definitely a title race on our hands, but I think we still win. We still will win the league. That's my prediction still, as things stand. But of course, it's going to be closer than it has been in recent years. But let me know what you make of course, the result on the weekend. Apologies for obviously the late upload with regards to that. I mean, it's out of my control, but we are back to normal now going forward. And let me know what you make of the upcoming January transfer window. Who would you like to see come through the door? Is there any players in particular that you want to see come through the door, or do you just want certain positions to be filled? Let us know down in the comment section below. But that does bring us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.